Someone once estimated that if you live to 80, you'll make 1 billion decisions. Now, most of those decisions will be unimportant and they'll be involuntary, like taking a breath or blinking your eyes. But even if 1% are important, so 10 million decisions, they will determine how you got from where you started to who you are today. Hi, I'm Gordon MacLeod. I'm an astronomer, a businessman. I've worked for government, done a lot of consulting privately. Basically, people hire me to solve problems for them. This series I'm creating, I call My Billion Decisions. And I call it that because it's all going to be based on the decisions that I made that took me from being a small child growing up in a poor family in rural Canada to where I am today. This video particularly is the introduction to my story. Thereafter, there will be a series of videos about the various decisions that I've made that got me to where I am. And I hope you find them entertaining and amusing, because that really is what life is all about. Because if you can't laugh, you're not going to deal with heartache. My billion decisions. They took me from somewhere to somewhere else. And well, this was a really bad idea. I was born into a poor family of 14 children in rural Canada in 1962. I am the 11th child, and I'm always reminded that I never made the top 10. I have 11 brothers and 2 sisters, all of which love fighting, getting into lots of trouble, and I gotta tell you, I have no idea how I survived my childhood. None whatsoever. I don't even want to guess. Some of the things that happened to us are stories in and of themselves that would they would rival the Hatfields and the McCoys in some instances, to be honest, and I'm not exaggerating. I don't know how I survived it. My brothers and I all believed we would die before we were 30, and somehow I did. I'm here today. I'm 59 in this video, and those stories and some of the decisions I made during those times led me to where I am and who I am today. And I'm going to tell you about them. Some will shock you, but I'm hoping most will just make you laugh. I love science. I absolutely love science. When I watched them walk on the moon, one of those decisions, I chose to be an astronaut. I never got there, but I love science. It gave me a passion for science. And that got me through high school, got me into university, where I got a BSc in physics, got me into grad school where I did my master's and PhD in astronomy, astrophysics. And then from there I went into research. And I did research in South Africa, in Mexico. I traveled to various parts of the world like Brazil, Australia, Europe, where I also did research. But that was one part of my life. Just my experiences in university and my experiences in Africa and Mexico alone could make a book out of it. And again, some of them were absolutely crazy, but I had good fun doing them, and I'm going to enjoy telling those stories to you. I got a bit bored in research after a while. When I was about 36, and even when I decided it was even funny as a story, but I'll get to that. But I decided when I was 36 that I would leave astronomy and go into the business world. So I chose to do an MBA. I knew nothing of business, not the language, nothing. Chose to do an MBA. And from there, I found my way back to Southern Africa, where I ran businesses in South Africa and Angola. And I did consulting work in places like the DRC and in Canada. But the point is that I tried to run these little businesses, and all of these things that happened based on those decisions were really quite entertaining. I mean, in particular, I got very good at firing people. Well, I can assure you, that is the last thing you want to do. That is the last thing you want to do. And I can still remember people saying to me, "I'm going to kill you." And I thought they were just saying goodbye to me after I fired them. Life does this to you. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed these little stories. I will tell you about that in the coming series. My government career was really very short. It was only 3 years, and I absolutely loved it. I learned so many things. It was so interesting to see that side of business and research. I predominantly worked in the Department of Science and Technology, where I helped develop lobbying strategies for them to win the right to host the world's largest telescope in South Africa and Southern Africa. But just the opportunity to travel all over Africa and meet and talk with young researchers and government officials and how to develop the economics of science was just an experience that it was worth. And some of the things that I saw, I'm going to talk to you guys about in this series. This is the hard part. Where am I today? What have I got? I kind of see myself as a failed researcher, a failed businessman, a failed government agency person, because I was never able to turn those into careers that created some sort of security for me in my old age. I am the poster child for you will own nothing and be happy, because I own nothing and I'm relatively happy. All that aside, really where it is today, people continue to call me from all over the world and ask me to solve problems. I generally don't answer my phone if I don't have to, because it puts my head onto something I maybe don't want to think about. Nowadays, I tend to choose the things that I like doing, that at least I'm interested in. And I hope these things, that's just the way it is in life. Anyways, let me finish by saying, maybe some of the things that I chose will be quite entertaining in terms of the end result. And I hope from this you can take away, don't do some of the things that I did. Don't do some of the things I did. Have a happy life, find yourself a place in it, and live it. And this series will present my billion decisions that got me here today. The Jira Foundation will produce more videos like this. Please like, share, or subscribe if you enjoyed this video.